Welcome to another clip of the Student Struggles podcast. Thanks for tuning in. On this clip, we're discussing how, as a student, you can overcome the pressure put on you by society. And even more so, what are the drawbacks of comparing your position to someone else's so you can have the appropriate view of your progress and your success to this point. If these some of the topics that will intrigue you and interest you, stay tuned. Let me know what you think in the comments below and enjoy. Are you hearing me clear?
Yes, I can.
I think you're a frame.
I believe so.
We got eyes on we.
Yeah, boy.
You nervous?
Oh, so what? We can see ourselves or something for now?
Nah, that's just in case you got Google saying, because
Yeah, boy.
some people say things that I believe, huh? So it's just like,
Makes sense.
all right. So, ready?
Okay.
This is episode 9 of the Student Struggles podcast. I have a very, I think, unique guest on today. You can say hello.
Hi.
What's your name? What's your name?
My name is Resheena Homer.
You want your middle name too?
Oh, I guess. My middle name is Mickey.
Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. I know. I'm gonna off topic, but I'm glad to be here. We're on location at the UB Kayfield campus, Barbados. You seem a little nervous.
I mean, this is the first time I've been on a podcast. Shout out to you for inviting me to be on, by the way.
It don't get easier the more podcasts you do, by the way. It's always be as nervous as you do the first one.
Yeah,
right?
I'd imagine so.
So, simple. Tell us about yourself, Resheena. Who are you? What you're doing with your life right now?
What am I doing is the question.
Anything productive?
Well, I would hope so. As Jazz said, we are on location at UEK campus, where I am an undergrad student doing econ and accounting, so a double major. Prayer for me in this degree. It's not easy, but it's something that I enjoy right now. So, that's what I'm doing for my life. So yeah, I'm just here trying to, give back, tell my younger self, give that young Resheena some advice as what we're supposed to be doing.
No, you know better than me. You want co-host? You want host? You can interview me, If you want interview me, you can interview me.
So yeah, but
Shout out to Sade. Sade is actually Resheena's friend as of a couple of months, and she's like sitting there watching us. So like, I think that's why I'm nervous. Like, I'm not usually nervous when it's me and somebody else, but like Sade got like, these piercing eyes that got me a little uncomfortable, but we'll do. All right. So, you're well rounded. You're at the University of West Indies. That's good. Econ and accounts. My condolences. Right. So, given your journey to this point, would you say you were like prepared enough for when you came into university? Like, because I know, knowing you personally, I know there's a lot of baggage behind like your existence to this point. If you could touch on that to some degree, if for whatever you're comfortable doing, of course.
Yeah, sure. So before I came to UE, I actually took a gap year. So I would have gone to QC up to sixth form, straight from first to sixth form, doing economics, accounts, Spanish, as well as the core subjects at Cape. Took that gap year before going into UE because, due to personal issues and stuff like that, I said that I would prefer to have a break before going full-fledged into my undergrad. Coming into UE then, it was like 2020. That was my first year, so it was a hybrid first semester. And then COVID really came through, so I had a bit of a rough experience. The online thing is not for me, honestly. Yeah. It was like, not it. But in terms of being prepared coming into UE, I would say I pretty much was prepared from Cape. I had exemptions, so I didn't have to do like the introductory courses and stuff like that. So I had a pretty good foundation from Cape, but because I took the year off, it was kind of a case where I still had to like go back and brush up.
Rusty.
I did get rusty. But all wasn't lost, and it wasn't too bad or too hard to catch back up. So now I'm in my second year, doing the last out of my second level courses before going into third level.
If all given the personal issues aside, I think if all was like, if it was an ideal situation, you would have still taken a gap year, or you would have gone right into university?
I think if all was quote unquote ideal at the time, I might have just gone straight through, or I would have still taken a year just to experience something different, because doing 7 years of school is still a lot of years of school. To do more years of school, you gotta
add the primary school years too.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what, 14 and all.
Yeah, about
14 years in total, and then have to do 3 more years, which is obviously then the undergrad is like To
Yeah.
go straight through is a lot. And funny enough, I was actually talking to my friends about this sometime last week, where
Hmm.
places like I think Paris and like different European countries is actually common for them to take gap
Yeah.
years. If you don't take a gap year, it's like why not? Like
Like, what
it's
you trying to
considered
prove?
strange.
Exactly,
Yeah,
because a lot of them persons over there, they like take a gap year and they travel and they get experience.
correct.
And I know you were not able to do it to that extent, but like, what valuable experiences you had, you think, in your gap year that we were able to like
Oh yeah,
decompress?
it definitely. What I did in the time was actually a course in bar and restaurant service, so it was something completely different to what all the academic type stuff that I was doing before,
Hmm.
and it was a different experience. Obviously, I learned the skill. I actually got two certificates, two CVQs from
Hmm.
doing that, and then it was a good experience in terms of seeing a different side of the world. So obviously, coming from QC, we're kind of quote unquote classed up as bougie and this and that.
Yeah.
Not the case, by the way, but there's this classification of whatever of those kinds of schools and what's not. But then going to that bar course, the types of persons that were there, and it was for like a full year basically. So it was just different. It was
Hmm.
interesting to see those persons and the backgrounds that they came from as well, and different things like that. It was quite an experience. And then also I got work experience. It wasn't a major amount of work experience, but
Hmm.
relating to the whole bar and restaurant service thing. So again, it was just a different perspective. So I enjoyed it.
Okay, good. Because I think that's important. I think like a lot of us put academics first in like all things. And
Hmm.
would you say that like there was like, I don't want to say built up tension, but like it was a need of a break? As you said, you was going for like a really long time. Like, was it also that the gap year was for able you to rejuvenate and recuperate and then get yourself psyched up to go to university?
Yeah, it basically was that rejuvenation period for me because as I said, due to whatever like mental stresses or strain that I was under, even if I wasn't under that, I probably still would have taken the break just to say, okay, let me take this break now and then go ahead into my UE life or whatever. But the thing is, I got a lot of pushback from persons about that. People were telling me, um, you should just go straight into
And if you
school.
if you take the break, you can be like, it can be 1 year, then it can be 2 years, and then you can never go.
Exactly. And to me, that's ridiculous because to me, if it is, it's my goal to get an undergraduate degree and to pursue further studies even after that. Is I want to put my mind to it, I'm going to do it. It's not that this 1 year of not doing tertiary level study is going to make me like, oh, I don't want to ever go to school. I don't want to this and that. Like to me, that didn't make sense. But I guess it comes from like, especially it came from a lot of older people as well that perhaps maybe they themselves did not even pursue um the kind of studies that we say for instance pursue like all the time and it's normal to us but it
Yeah.
wouldn't have been normal to them or maybe in their time it wasn't afforded to them like that.
Yeah, we talked about this
So
in the last episode.
yeah.
Persons do a lot of projecting. So that could be someone who was in a similar situation and did not take the initiative to do that for themselves. So they
Mm,
assume that if you're in the same situation, you're gonna make the same decisions.
yeah.
But that's not the case. And we have like, even as just as humans, we have like a big issue in like putting our opinions on other people. And it's really dangerous too, because like
Hmm.
people have a like unique set of circumstances that you don't know. Like you see somebody, oh, I see she like run the place. Like, I know what she does. She could as best do that. Like what you see is like such a small tip of the iceberg. Persons have
Exactly.
like so much else like going on in their life. So it's very unhealthy to you say, you know what? I think given my situation, I
Hmm.
know so little about this person, but I tell you, man, you should do this. Like
Yeah.
and want to like you feel like you coming from a position like you all knowledgeable and like
Yeah, and to be honest it doesn't come from a bad place so it's not
they
with
do
bad
care. Yeah, they do
intentions but
care.
it's just that it's not the most advisable thing to do. And funny enough, you say that because it kind of leads me to like think about comparison, like comparing people like when you don't know their situation. That's something that I used to struggle with a lot, like comparing myself to other people, saying, "Oh, I'm not as far ahead as this, as that person." And even when it came to more like leisure things, like how there's FOMO, fear of missing out.
Mhm.
So, oh, everybody going out and doing this and doing that, and I just home, like you would just compare yourself generally. So it's in terms of that, and in terms of school and academics or people that seem like they have the perfect life, they have the perfect balance of going out, going school, working, this and that, but you never know
Nah, you
the
don't.
underlying state of all that.
I think like the analogy that I like a lot, like I heard somewhere that like there's this dude on like the sidewalk and he sees this dude in like this awesome vehicle and they got
Mm,
like a lovely woman in like this in the passenger seat. the cheese on, boy. Like, I really envy that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing that the dude renting the vehicle and the lady in the passenger side is being paid to be there, and he on
Mm-hmm.
drugs, and he like contemplating if he can wrap himself on the nearest tree. And it's very
Mm.
dangerous because like
Yeah.
even though like I in a lot of so because like trying to deal with like the businesses around students, the podcast is mainly around students. We touch on other topics like mental
Mm-hmm.
health and stuff. I'm in a lot of like Reddit groups around like persons who are students, and like trying to put myself like Quora and like Facebook groups around like persons who are students.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's a big thing. Some person say like I only went to this college because like all my friends was doing it and I didn't want to miss out. And they go there and it's so lonely and it's like nothing that they expected. So it's like these preconceived notions we have of other persons like enjoying their life and having this great time. And thinking that because if I go in the same situation, I'm gonna be the same way. It's so
Mm-hmm.
difficult, be because
Yeah.
look at it this way: gap year, 1 year,
Mm-hmm.
one. And you know what I think too? I think it's because society puts a lot of pressure on young persons to figure out life very early.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's crazy, but like, there's people who's like
And it's
actually be
not
like so
natural.
stressed out that like they don't got the perfect job and then get the degree they want at the GPA they want and the perfect internship. There's got
Mm-hmm.
people coming out of like the age when it was 18 and they have not gotten the perfect internship. Jeez, on bro, there's so much behind the 8 ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
But
not.
there's so much more to life than those things. But I guess because I don't know, it's like a certain standard that you may hold yourself to, but also society might hold you to it as well. So then it's like standards from two sets of places that, have your mind kind of bogged up for those things.
Yeah, because I tell you, like I experienced that too. Like we all have insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, when I first started like YouTube and podcasts, and I put my first video, got like 5 views, and that's 5 views from people that like is on my contact list from WhatsApp that like I
Yeah.
send the video to.
People that
Like, should I
close.
keep doing this? Like, so there's a healthy and unhealthy way to think about it. You should
Mm-hmm.
have this. You should have this version of yourself that you're trying to attain to and trying to work towards every single day. But when that becomes so out of reach that you no longer have like motivation to do it. So like for example, like when there's somebody running, they may have like, a vehicle in front of them to set the pace,
Yeah.
right? There's a reason why the vehicle is still like a couple of meters ahead.
Mm-hmm.
If the vehicle all the way down the road, but you can start running, big man.
Yeah.
There's no way you can keep up with that. So it's
Exactly.
like healthy expectations we have with ourselves, and usually we have like this like I have to do so much and such a short amount of time. Like we have barely been alive on this earth.
True. True. Hey, there's a video that like keeps recurring. Like it's a sound, and then like people remake different videos with the same sound. But it's
Uh-huh.
like being in your 20s is so confusing. It's like I'm too old, but I'm too young.
I saw that.
I've done
And
everything, but I've done nothing
I'm an
at
adult, but I
all.
feel like I'm still a child. Like I still
Yeah,
figuring things out.
it's that's very much what it feels like.
Yeah, so like anybody who's like a teenager or like in their young 20s, I'm feeling like I have to have everything figured out, or like I thought like being a teenager
Take your
and
time.
becoming an adult was this big thing and like all this responsibility. Nah, chief. Like
Don't like when you're young, you're like, oh, I can't wait to be an adult because I get to do what I want to do, and it's not in real
how
life.
fast I went away.
In real life, if you see children now, primary school, secondary school, absolutely especially now that we kind of over the COVID hump and you could kind of go back outside face to face school. Treasure every moment that you have to be outside, school, running around, doing whatever. You see the little work, the little homework assignments for the group project that you complaining about. Don't complain about that. Because when you get to the big league, like where we are, where Jared has been, because he's already graduated from UE, look.
Yeah.
Look, like just enjoy where you are. Like whatever stage in life you are at, I feel like you should. And this is something I'm trying to actively do.
Well, I'm very sorry to cut that video short. Am I sorry? No, I'm not really that sorry. But anyhow, if you feel like that stopped at a poor time and you want to listen to the full conversation again, the full audio podcast is down below. But if you want to watch the remainder of what was said, I know I cut you off at a bad time. But just stay tuned to the channel. We're gonna bring out videos a lot more often. But if you love this clip of the podcast, the other clips right here, you can benefit from. So again, right there, so you could do that. And yeah, I ain't really got nothing else to say too. So peace.